mute the mic. Do we have microphone? Yes, we do. Right, we're ready to go. He says famously. Brew. What are we doing here? Muted. Good, good. Whoa. Let's see. Yes, he is live. Come on. Come on. Can you see us, Dave? No, Dave cannot see you, Barker. Evening, brother. Afternoon. You can see me. I cannot see you. Is that a trick question? Now then, Alias. Great tunes yesterday, David. They brought back some great memories. Did you feel the energy, the vibration? That's all it was about. Just going back to the timeline of which was 20 years, 30 years ago. Some of them tunes from 88, 91, 88 onwards. So CC Peniston, All Join Hands, Sasha Be As One, One Family, you know, one, what was it now? We Live as One Family, Mickey Finn, Some Justice. We have forgotten who we are in many ways, and we've forgotten who we was in many ways. And even 10, 20 years ago, it seems apparent that we have transformed, and this system has a way of chewing up our dreams and our aspirations, and it quickly consumes us, and we are, you know, fast turned from an innocent 16-year-old, 18-year-old into a you know, an adversarial combatant within the realms of the legal and the commercial intercourse of which the system out here has us take part in. So none of us openly are militant combatants, and none of us, once we learn of this and get full disclosure, agree or even want to continue as we are. So we go back to the rave scene, because in 1991, David was how old? 10 in 88, 89, 90, 91, 13. So I was 13, just gone into a teenager, and I was assimilating the outside world. And I thought, what do you mean there's a place where you can go in the field and attend and stages and DJs and, you know, teenagers, no adults, warehouse raves, to be fair, Hacienda, you know, and the warehouse, there were various warehouse raves that there was. And the gay disco scene, the anti-establishment is what the gay and the homosexual scene, you know, was part of then. So it's a long political ride. I remember Margaret Thatcher and what she did then, and the government, the Labour Party at the time, Neil Kinnock, as I've said, Northern Ireland, Tiananmen Square, Tankman, a lot of politics and history. In the last 20, 30 years, the UK government has passed an amazing amount of legislation in all areas governable on our persons and by consent. So is more happening now, and it's quite disturbing that the vulnerable members and the weaker members of our society, not just the legally handicapped, but the mentally, physically disabled, at dis-ease, they go for help, and they're getting singled out under this new system. So we'll have interactive chats. I've got the TV on here with all your comments. I've got the emails open on my other screen, which I'm going to move now. So if you email me, I'll get you in for a chat. There's a 30-second delay, so you can only chat once, comment once every 30 seconds. So yes, we'll just work with that. All right. So after Brother Barker, we have Alias, Nonna, Studs, John, and Barker again. Yeah, so John, Barker, check out Michael of Benicia. News for you all. Let me go to the exact page and I'll read you out the actual post I've put up for you regarding some news. So we'll talk about one by one if you would like later. Also, we are putting on a documentary, when I say we, with the Private Brotherhood of Man, namely over at our domain, Sestu KV, Dead and Lost at Sea. So we'd like to do a timeline, a bit like Meet Your Straw Man, but a 30-45 minute video of that, where we cover the Sestu KV, the Dead Lost at Sea. This is open to anybody that's got any kind of video editing, script writing, animation, production, any kind of media marketing, things like that, of which we could look to draw upon and include. I will be we will be appointing a management team or some kind of team to oversee this, and production team and so forth. It will be a trust production, and it will help promote globally the cause of what we are trying to promote here: the rule of law, the understanding, the overstanding, the understanding, the CQV, all of the CQVs, but especially the 1666, Dead and Lost at Sea, a documentary, sovereign, paralegals production. This is some other avenue that we're going into here. So just bear that in mind. There's a lot going off. You'll find it more promotions from the .com, and I will do videos nearer the time and have another hangout about that. So about equity thieves, yes, this is an advance notice for you guys that are in the Indiglo Trust here on Facebook, here on FaceTube. Oh wow, here on the YouTube. Equity thieves, take note. We are to expand our family, and the governor, myself, the man David, is to travel to York and meet the new Chartist family. Man has been asked to attend if possible and talk about our knowledge and the use of trusts and equity. Also, the trip recently I and Smithy made to go to Alderhay in Liverpool, and the encounter with the Catholic priest from Westminster. We are to if we are to make any progress in this soft, silent war, someone or some of us need to rise up out of the politics, the constitutional, the inalienable rights, common law, the canons, the UCC, Admiralty, Maritime, and now trust and equity. I'm willing to take up a challenge, and I'm asking. I said this in the Facebook trust earlier today. I ask if any of you wish to support me and our self-governing sovereign private movement to York. We give love and thanks to Brother X, because I won't publicly outline who is it that is arranging this, but if you know me and you have got the contact, we can facilitate your inclusion on this into this event. He needs a big thank you. More details are to follow once they have been confirmed. The event details are to be included on spOspro.com. The venue, I have a provisional venue in front of me here, and there's a provisional date of Saturday the 4th of August. A hall has been hired from 9 AM till 7 PM in York. There's going to be food and water later when we find out roughly how many men are attending. I've written people. Let me edit that right now. Let me edit that. That's what happens when you rush in. See, we're not word perfect. This is why we need proof writers for scripts. It needs to be verbatim text. So yeah, bear that in mind. Let me just get rid of that word. Once we find out how many people it was, wasn't it? Wait there. Shame on me. Whoa. Men are attending. So that's something to look forward to. Not saying that we're going there to support anybody. There's going to be, somebody just mentioned, let me get back to the chat screen. John Smith, you mentioned Michael Obenesia. So yes, we're aware of Michael Obenesia. I've reached out to him. We've reached out to him. Brother Blue from here and in the trust has sent the man messages. He's very busy. He's just returned back to the media platforms after a long time away. So we respect it and allow him time to absorb, settle down and find his bearings again with what's going on and who's where doing what. So that's promising. Yes, Michael Albanese, a fantastic mind, brain. I've looked at the, who was it now? Let's think of the Max Eigen, Santos Bonacci, 2012, talking about trusts. Go and get on that tube as well. I think it's on the r.com as well, and I may have linked it in previous videos. That was incredible, absolutely incredible. Michael's trust, what was it now? I can't think of the word. The trust that is done, sovereign trust, declaration of independence, treaty, so forth. That's fantastic as well. So yeah, we are linked up. He will be there to be confirmed with other speakers in York. So Barker and co, you can check out myself and this family is going to unite, at least temporarily, and go down and see if we can bury the egos for what ones there are. Get in there, speak Anglo-Saxon, standard, babble, get in there, get it sorted and see what we can pull together. Who's won what? You've won, okay, step to this side. What have you won? When did you win it? Within the last 12 months? Can you shoot me the proof, the documentation, the evidence? What have you done effectively? What have you done in the common law court? What have you managed to stave off? Have you effected tendered payment? Is it discharged or at stalemate? These are now the fine tweaks that we are in a fortunate enough place to be able to put on. We've sorted out the agent, principal, agent, conditional acceptance, having honour and being in clean hands. We've now separated all the instrumentation that was layered with. This is something I'd like to speak to Michael Obenesia about in particular, as I've heard that he may have been one of the ones to, I believe, and so they say, he may have been one of the ones to pioneer the conditional three-letter acceptance process. So A for V, negotiable instruments, promissory note, bills of exchange, set law, trustee, beneficiary, various types of trusts. The trust used upon us, which are public statutory trusts, where we find we are the trustee, not informed of it, unconscionable actions. We can verbally express that and collapse and dissolve it. Then there's the private express trusts and so forth that you use to ring fence your property, if you like that, for that terminology. And you do different type of trust. Then there's the last will and testament. This is a type of trust. Then there is here where you go and look after my house for 2 weeks because I'm going away, see my mum, and pets need feeding, and the grass needs cutting. I'll be back in 2 weeks, John Smith. So here's the keys. Will you accept this and look after it for me? It's it's over to you for 2 weeks, as I did last year. Same agreement, and I'll give you 150 quid when I come back, fella. Nice one. Shake on it. Done. That's a trust agreement. John's accepted to take the keys and responsibility as directed verbally and expressed by me. He's become an express trustee, if you like. It's a private trust. It's verbally expressed. It stands. It's honourable. He will get the payment as per the agreement of the trust when I return. There's no initial outlay for him other than time. If I come back, find out the property, animals, pets, everything, grass, and that's all the same as it was or as should be, then he will get the 150. Job's a good one. You could make a voice audio recording of it. You could make you could write it down, an agreement. You know what I mean? It doesn't need to be going to a place of a judiciary capacity. And you use a trust every day. So this is the part of the time now. I told you it was an exciting time and that 2018 was going to be massive. Well, get in. Yes, it is, and it is, and here we are doing it. So let's go. Check out Lisa Tanner on Trust. I know I've heard of that name and I've seen some posts, John, so we will do and have done. Thank you very much. Steve and the family, or of the clan Collins. Yes, brother, how you doing? We need to sort out your Facebook Trust later. I need to come down, have a look at it, literally on the network, and get that all sorted out and connected up for you. Tony Lorenzo, who is actually a sovereign man who's under common law jurisdiction. Hey David, good to see you, mate. Yes, brother, and to you. Barker says, thanks, man. I'm just getting worried, but I'll get on to that. This is a good time. No kids about. Yes. 69 felt the good energy yesterday with the tunes and everything. So yes, thank you for that. That's yeah, it's just about reminding you, isn't it, how much time passes, what's happening. You know, change your vibration just for a little bit. Get out of there. Escape. Remember. Think of your old friends, what you was doing, how you was, how things used to be back in the day. Universal credit and the self-employed. Let's go for, I'm going mainstream. I'm going mainstream because this is where most of it gets fed, put to, referenced from, stuff like that, you know. So let's read what they're saying here. A report from the Work and Pensions Committee is recommending changes to the way that universal credit works for the people who are self-employed. It says the rules are designed with little regard for the reality of self-employed work, because assessments used to determine who's eligible for the benefit don't adequately reflect the time and fluctuating earning patterns involved to get businesses up and running. The DWP says while it recognises the importance of entrepreneurs to the economy, it is unfair for taxpayers to prop up unviable business. Guest Andy Chamberlain, Director at the Association of Independent Professionals and the Self-Employed. Are some gas customers in England being overcharged by their meters? That's a view from the company, which says it's developed technology which can... what sort of... I'll read it anyway. Overcharged by their meters. That's the view from a company which says it's developed technology which can improve the accuracy and usage of bills by listening to the flow of gas. The energy regulator Ofgem has previously looked at the issue of gas measurement. Guests David Shipworth, Professor of Energy and the Built Environment, UCL, and Chris Farrell, Chief Technical Officer and Inventor, Canetis. That's nothing to do with that other story, I apologise, but let me go on to the next one that I've got. Regarding gas though and utility bills, right, you know how they work out the measurement and the volume of it. The volume is important. So they say that all pipes should be layered at least so many meters from the surface of the Earth's crust, the mantle. If these pipes are not fixed in that located position, a fixture from the mantle, of which they use to work out the volume of gas given the temperature and ambient temperature and changing temperatures and altitude of the land, which works out the volumes under pressure and the actual not the viscosity because it's a gas, but it works out everything to do with the amount and the volume within the actual pipe itself at that given high altitude. It's quite complicated. So those of you that live in an ultra low or an ultra high altitude, I'll do some research on the reports, because I do remember somebody saying that there is an overcharge of about £50 a year, Bank of England credit notes for these inaccurate measurements to do with the volume, and this could have been going on for 10 years. So you're looking at 10 years of £50. It's 500 quid, rebate 500 Bank of England notes. So that's just come back from a random back to universal credit. In the report this week, Simon Cox finds out why the Department for Work and Pensions has struggled to create an IT system that can deliver universal credit. Next source. Here we go. I'm going to find more after this. I just enjoy going through the mainstream first. The government announced in 2010 that so that's 8 years ago, it planned to create a single payment combining 6 of the current benefits available for those struggling financially. The plan for universal credit was developed in opposition by Ian Duncan Smith. So remember that. Now Secretary of State for Work and Pensions. So look what jobs he did, look where he's ended up. It was envisioned that there would be a pilot in April 2013 with the system rolled out to all new out of work claimants by October 2013. By 2017, all those in receipt of benefits should be claiming universal credit. However, it was announced earlier this year that the pilot would only include a very small number of new claimants. The most simple to process, the national rollout has now been scaled back. And in September this year, so we're in, that's last year then, 17, the National Audit Office produced a damning report saying the project had been beset with problems. What? Let me just take this. Hello, brother. Hello. I'm live on Tube. I've got to go. You have to message me, all right? Send me a message. I'm live doing a video about universal credits. Ciao, Bello. Well, even if they know they've rung me. Sorry about that. But was the plan too ambitious in the first place? Oh, no, that wasn't it. The national rollout has now been scaled back, and in September this year, last year, 17, the National Audit Office produced a damning report saying the project had been beset with problems. But was the plan too ambitious in the first place, or could better management have delivered the project to the timescales originally set out? Simon Cox travels to the areas of Greater Manchester where the new benefit is being trialled to see how universal credit is being welcomed. And that was from a lady called Charlotte MacDonald, who reports for the BBC Radio 4. Interesting. Let's find your comments. Got to leave. All right. Peace out, studs. Yeah, see you later. Gas meters overcharged £50 a year on average. And what do you base that on, John Smith? I've based it what I based on. Let's have your proof of claim there, brother. What's that on? Is that just, you mean with the, if you never gave an actual referenced exact meter reading, if they just always use an average, you're saying that they calculate £50, or which one is it? Hey up, Tina. Well done, sister, for viewing one by one. Give us your comments on here as well. Tell the Tube family what you thought of that, your impressions, what you said to me over in on FB. Flight mode. Yes, this one's on flight mode, El. This one's not, so this was the private one. Let me just check and tell them what's happening. We've got a message. We're all very busy, I know that much. Let's call back because I haven't got a message. I just want to know what that was about. Tony Lorenzo's put me in a trust. Tony, we're going to come to that in a minute then. I can't put you in a trust effectively. Hello there. Did you know you just rang me? No, so I am making video on Tube, so I just answered it, and I thought, I just realised I didn't hear a voice, and I thought, are you okay? Was it brother ringing? And all right, I'm going because I've got the others on the screen. See you later. All right, brother. Peace and love. All is good. All is good. Can we put you in a trust? Let me think. Yes and no. You are you're already in a trust. Your person's in a trust. You've got the quasi trust. You've got the CQV trust. You've got public statutory trust. You've got you having the allodial title, losing the allodial title, getting possessory title, and what other titles is the possessory title, legal title, allodial title. Some there just for you to think about. So let's go through it with a quick example. Here's our Dave with a quick reminder. You and I, Tony, meet up after an exchange on Auto Trader online, or other such car trading, domains are available, eBay, Gumtree, so forth, so on. Auto Trader, we meet privately. I've got a big rig for sale. You buy it, 20 grand. I give you we get some paper straight out the printer. All right, the VIN, registration, date, time, what else can we put on there? Names, description of the big rig, mileage, MOT, tax, everything. That's all applicable details. That as much as you want, I sign it, you sign it, yes, and that's required to be done twice. So then I've got one for the sale from me, transfer of property. So we're transferring titles here, title of ownership from me to you, and you're going to give me some kind of credit based, you know, remuneration for this transaction. It's a private one, it's not governed under commerce public as such, but the rules apply. So it's a private transaction governed by public law, which would be the bill of sale, the 1882 bills of exchange, transactional infrastructure and instruments like that. You then get the receipt. I've got the receipt. I've got a receipt for the title going from me to you. You've got a receipt from the title going from me to you. You've now got the allodial title. You hold the bill of sale. You've got the document. We've both put our equitable assets on there, and now it's yours. So you have got the allodial title. You then go away and you get back to the office, and you're going to be using that for commercial enterprise. It's not private. You're using it for commercial. And you go to the office and you take out the you know, the necessary documents, your cards and whatever. You log on to the DVLA, the driver vehicle licensing agency, and you go and start filling in the little slip, the details from that on the V5 that they ask you for, and you go through the questions on the .com of the .gov UK for the agency. Remember, that's what relationship you're entering here into, from the private into a public agency relationship. They are your agents at the driver vehicle licensing agency. You are at the moment still the allodial title bill holder, can prove everything in law, in equitable terms. Once you send that and submit, and the other V5 comes out with your legal person, the driver's full details, address, because you've given it that commercial address with the postcode, which denotes what, a commercial address and office and so forth. You then go and affix all of the details in what, block capitals, in black, all separate boxes, blah blah blah. Wow. You go and do that, and then what do they say? They say sign, and you go and sign, and you don't put anything like settlor or anything to do with your current. You don't sign it with any removal of public liability. You put the equitable asset on behalf of the all caps, and you just sign it and you send it off. What's happened there, in our opinion, and it seems to be ever so growing fast, that you have then registered, you've committed registration legally, you've interfaced with the system, and you've given your allodial title using their constructed paperwork that you've submitted, using all their crazy type of colours and languages and boxes, and affixing the equitable asset. Once they process that and send out the correct V5, then you have just had the transfer of title done between you and the agents have got the allodial title, you have got legal possessory title, and you're in some kind of constructed trust there, of which you don't need to know you're in to be in, which is quite unconscionable really, because if you don't address the processes then, which are affixed with the tort tacit adhesion contracts that come through with the claimants of the police and the local arms of the government, namely the council and their traffic officers, the officers will then forward that necessary paperwork, tickets and citations for the colonies, the colonised island, the Commonwealth states, New Zealand, America, Australia, the penal codes and the public codes and the citations you guys get. That's how they go about this kind of stuff, and they go and they clamp overnight, or they'll hire, take on the lorry, remove with all your personal goods, laptops, children's private property, possessions, everything goes. They might clamp it, they might take it, they might impound it. It'll outweigh the actual fines. There's no point in you actually getting it back. You can't argue anything. It's assumptions and presumptions. Ignorance is no defence. Look at the maxims and the maxims of equity, and that's all about trust there, Tony. So you're in a lot of them: the birth certificate, the quasi trust, the DVLA, the national insurance, the schools, the hospitals, all these kind of, you know, the health and the education have got you. The government's got you in a trust. You're in a lot of trusts. You trust me that I've got a good, not the skull that's worn on purpose because we're fighting the pirates. Let's just take a moment. 1978, it's my year of birth, that is. I got it for my birthday off one of my family. Quite an insightful, nice t-shirt. I'm not endorsing this company or advertising it. I just thought, old pirates, yes, they rob I. From the merchant ships, the rum knuckles, since 1978. It's no kind of, it is what I'm wearing, and I haven't wore it on purpose for that skull. But, you you know, you trust that I'm not in any way other, you know, got any other incentives, and I've explained about going to a high court for 2 years and losing access to my property, of which I had a barrister. I now understand personage and other such crimes were committed in the interest of the legal system without my consent or disclosure, which means all that's null and void. It doesn't stand. The court rate, 2 years and 20 grand, is an insult, to be fair. And when I found out that somebody had committed suicide for owing in 1,000, allegedly 1,000, you know, Bank of England credits debt, and they're no longer with us, I just thought that's horrendous. The disabled and the weak are getting picked on now. Tina, your reference, how many times in One by One, sister, does it say that they are going to reduce 95% of the global or the planes, wow, where are we, on the realms population by up to 95%? It does say that 13 out of every 14 are going to be culled and done in and basically taken out. They do say, how can they do this? It's not well scripted or anything. It's just cobbled together. We will be covering this at the Sovereign Conference or Sovereign Gathering, Sovereign Solstice on the 14th and 15th of July. We're going to do a private showing. I'll get in touch with the producers on Facebook and so forth, and I'll get the directors and so forth's consent to do this for research, and I'll also reach out to them and say we're doing a documentary which is called CQV, Dead and Lost at Sea. And it's a shame Rick's not around. I'd really like to have a chat with Rick. I'm not saying that he was in it for the right reasons. It does kind of really annoy me when guys do this, actors do these kind of things, and then they either pass away, which I've noticed. I'm not going to reference any actors, but there's quite a few. And what's actually happening right now with the politics and the Brexit and Tommy Robinson, which we're not talking about at all, and this universal benefits credit system is outweighs the distraction. Never mind the Russian World Cup and stuff like that either. Yeah, it's just it's crazy. I can't put any pictures in this chat, can I? Who runs the America? Easy, Jonesy. The Vatican. They runs the planet. The Pope, the Vatican. Yes, because of these trusts. Unum Sanctum, 1303, Pope Boniface. America has taken over Australia. The Freeman boys in Australia prove this. Ah, well, who put the flag in Australia? Who founded Australia? Let's look at it like that. You can run a landmass with UCC in a unified commercial. If everybody's considered dead, lost at sea, reclaimed, think about it a minute. When you say they have got taken over, well, if you've got jurisdiction, we always ask, who is it? What jurisdiction are you claiming to have? What law does that fall under? Is that law something that affects us, or is it something that affects what man created? Man created government, and government created persons, citizens, employees, statutes, codes, and then the government created employees and offices, of which the ministers and everybody that works there, you know, such as the trustees of the principal trustees and the agents and the administrators and the DWP and the NHS and the police and the fire and all of these, the civil servants at the time worked there. So that's who's governed by that society's ruling and code system. A landmass is indigenous to its indigenous, you know, unified sentient beings. Will go keep with Australia. Will go Aborigine. So Aborigine. Well, no, that's not even right. Ab, not from, not normal, not part of. Origine, Latin for original. So that's the wrong word. The originals, which we'll call them, the originals of Australia, the indigenous originals, had a flag planted on that continent, and that flag was planted by someone who came on a boat. So that tells you the law that's applied when they claim. When somebody claims a landmass from an external landmass under the guise of certain laws, and they plant that flag, these original indigenous become now citizens, employees, and such in the claimed right of said monarch that sent that boat with captain who acts in a capacity under law from, planting that, connecting that to that. So then who went from where to that land when it was claimed? Criminals and Irish and others. That's what we're led to believe. I wasn't alive at the time, but I'm just, you know. And then we went over and we started to colonize. So they are colonized. So they're colonial. And the Commonwealth has gone under some fantastical changes. So when you say America has taken over, it's there's a lot of rules running here. So you've got your common law running. Fundamentally, that's your baseline foundation of the solidness, of the goodness, of the law, of what we've got. On top of that, you'll have got your admiralty and your maritime, and on top of that, or comparable to that, is your UCC. On top of that is your equity, trust, and things like that. On top of that is your canons and ecclesiastical. So then you separate the tiers of the law again. You know what the common law and the natural and the standard law operates under and how it is. Then you know how the admiralty, maritime, waters of the rule of the sea, operating on the land by governance, consent, no disclosure, tricks and traps, usurping, usury, etc., etc. Then you'd have, after common law, admiralty, maritime, you've got your UCC, which is your eBay, your Facebook, your international, your all caps, your finance, your commerce, your national insurance number, your treasury routing numbers, everything like that. And after your UCC, you've got your canons and ecclesiasticals and claims of rightness and proof of evidence of life and all of that, thumbprint, signature, man, agent, rescinding, controlling, claiming estate, birthright, allodial title. Not necessarily in that order, but you've got the tier system, but you need a good system to build the fabrication of others onto. A bit like the ancient ruins that you see in Lebanon and Machu Picchu and it's Giza, Egypt, Peru, Iran, Iraq, the cradle of life. You see those ancient Greece as well. The ancient megalithic blocks are put on top of other such foundations. So someone's gone to that continent, conquered what was there, knocked it down, got even bigger, more powerful, bigger technology, get these blocks up and put it on top. So when man goes to look at it now, you see the Aztec same like weird non-uniformed Masonic, because it's to do with stone, it's masons and masonry, it's technology and knowledge. So it comes back from the masons and the Masonic technology. They had that eons ago, well before Christ, and you see that Machu Picchu, Mexico, Southern America, Australia, the Dogons and so forth, where is Africa and Italy, all of the ancient type, that other one that's in Cambodia, Ankara or something, that one, they're all miles and millions of miles apart and separated, different continents. I know back then the continents were closer, more connected, things were going down, battles and stuff happened. Telling me that it's 5,000 years ago in roughly every little scripture, gospel, Bible. No, something's going on there. So it's serious. It's about blood, it's about energy, it's about transferal, it's about deception, and it's about you having the choice. And if you don't have the choice, then the state gets to be held to account for what? Slavery. Who do we, Saddam Hussein, Gaddafi, Hitler, Mussolini, Kim Jong-il and other, other leaders to some extent, Putin, Syria, all of these guys have been taken out because they're not doing things correctly in line policy with this invisible, think about it, force that's at hand. They're not saying that Saddam and Gaddafi and Putin and everybody else don't deserve to have some attention on them and to be checked out, but who's checking them out and whose rules are we following? What rules are we following? Do those guys that make that and use that also follow that? Do the UN and the treaties and the G8 summit and Camp David and the Bilderberg and everybody else that's all having these things that we're pointing into the direction of, actually, where's ours? What have we got? We go moaning about everything and it's like, what can we do? Where can we go? These guys that have arranged this meeting in York, this is going to be a collection of a master brain. So whether or not I agree or I endorse or I use or I see the same views as the speakers or guys that will be there on this proposed date, it's not in stone yet, I will confirm later, then there's a massive amount of work that can be done there in the interest of our unborn lineage and blood. If you think things are bad now, then they're going to get a lot worse, and you are seeing your rights you know, slip away because you don't know your rights, you don't know who you are and what your rights are, and you rely on others that give you second-hand information that aren't legally trained to give you the information of which is a legal capacity. It's you know, when you sign something, it's a legal act. When you sign, you are contracting. It means somebody doesn't trust you and they require you to sign. My word, my bond is my word. If I need to give you my bond, I give it you now here with the open. Tina, in that film, there's a bit where a character goes bye, and they want to remember that character, don't they? And they say, oh, let's put a DVD on of the character that's no longer with them, passed away. And I'll try not to ruin the story too much. And they watch the DVD, and as soon as the character comes on her own recording, she says, hello, my name is X, and this is my last will and testament. And I just paused it. I went, what? You could make a visual last will and testament. No more paper proclamations, stamps, letterheads, coloured pens, sizes of paper, such things as you could proclaim in front of the creator on your own YouTube channel how you feel, who you are, what you envisage to do. You have to be careful with like your last will and testament. You wouldn't do it on a public YouTube video. You can do it on a private one, and you can allow and invite some of your family to watch that link. So as we say with data, redact it always, be careful. But even if you make the video private, it will be monitored and it will be looked at. GCHQ, the only part of the government that actually listens. I love you, boys, girls. They claim to protect us, so if they are doing that, continue on with nothing to hide. What else do we need to talk about? What's coming up there in that babble? Yeah, so you could do that last will and testament on a private video and upload it to your channel and send that private link out. No, it's unlisted. Private means it's just you. Unlisted means the public can never find it, the general public of the YouTube community, and only guys you give the link to can watch that video. There are other ways of uploading and securing a video, but I want to discuss the possibility of a last will and testament. I haven't heard this mentioned ever, and we picked it up from the film that we watched of late that I haven't got to hand now to show you, but one by one, let's go and get it. I'll show you the cover. I don't need to show you the cover, I can screen share. Let's try and screen share. Apologies if it goes wrong. Let me try it. I've got a little control panel. That one. Let me just check my tabs. That's all good. We'll get a new tab open. It's a bit weird when you screen share, just bear with me. 3 little dots, he said. Let me look for the 3 little dots on the other bit. It's quite technical, this, when you're just getting the hang of it. So what we do here, wait. I've got an idea. That's not the one, it was somewhere else. I do know what I'm doing, bear with. In this video call, yep. Alright, let me try it then. 3 little dots, got you. No. Right, it's one of 2 ways. This way, that I think I know, doesn't work. Application window. Eggy Shigeja, my princess. Then to that, and then to that. Yes, you should all be seeing. Aha! Fantastic. Technology. See, we're getting professional. Don't need that, though. That's a data accident, because I'm screen. Right. Let's go. Oh, I see. All right, so you're sharing that screen, so I need to put this over here. Yes, 1 minute then. Just get used to it. Fantastic. Whilst we're here then. No, I'll do that after. No, stop. That one. Must be that one. That's the one. So that's where it is on Facebook. I will haven't liked it or anything. I've been perusing on there, seeing out what the activity is, what they've got to say. It's quite interesting. What have we got here on the pictures then? So I'm revealing where it is. So the copyrights for research, and it's no copyright infringement. It's on Facebook. I've told you everybody who's in there. I've taken you to the actual directors and owners page on the Facebook. Boiling Frog Films, Diane Jesse Miller, Nicholas Peel, RIP. We'll like that because he's made me laugh many a time, regardless of what the incentive is. He may have been forced to do this. He might not have had a choice. He may have had a choice. Who knows? But what else have we got in here? Get that up for you now then. Let's have a read of this. You got that. You can screenshot now that. We don't need to keep that on. I think that's everything. It could be. Here we go. There you go. That's the tributes for where it is. There is copies for commercial intercourse with your legal instrumentation. You go to such. I think there's. Have a look and search for it now. Go and see where you can find it. It's very hard to find. It's one outlet on the commercial realms. If you search for it, you'll find the guy that's selling it or the seller that's got it, where it's coming from. But there aren't many copies to be found. Right, that's enough of that. What? When the men behind the curtain run out of enemies, you are next. It's one of the actors in there. Alright then. 30 for the 12:15 one, yeah. Alright, tweet along to the showing. Very interesting, very disturbing. It sponsored us to make one of our own. I will show you that now. Ah, no, let me be careful. Let me find my downloads folder for you. Where did I put it? I haven't got the picture for you. Downloads. I got the picture for you. I'll show you another time where I can find the picture. Here we go. That's it. Sestu KV, Dead and Lost at Sea. Get that onto the other screen. Too fast for my mouse. There we go. We're saying to that. What is really going on behind the scenes? The outstanding and shocking truth. Our hidden system revealed. Spelt wrong. G-Star technician. We did this at 3 a.m. So this is what happens when sovereigns work past midnight, much like Mogwai. We turn into some kind of gremlin, and we don't like working past midnight. And we're burning the candle at both ends, hence the red sagginess. But yeah, Sestu KV. We'll change the spelling. Dead and Lost at Sea. Blah blah blah. If you go to sest-k-v.com. Yeah, we've got that domain. We're working on that to get to traffic directed for everybody that searches this topic. Will end up finding SPL's Pro and our domain and getting some healthy, information as it is. Stop sharing. Back to normal. That worked well. What I'd like to do is now go back to where we was, because I do have a habit of sidetracking, but that's because of Katina's comments, because we're interactive. Side stepping happens. Let me put that back over there. Wow, I've never had so many windows, guys. Never in my time. It's like DJing with windows and technology and cameras and audio. We do like this. We are wanting some heavyweight hangouts and to get some guests on. Anybody in the know that wants to talk and chew the cud, bring up a subject. Universal credit. Let's find something that isn't BBC now. So, what is universal credit and what is the problem? Let me go to DuckDuckGo. Yes, we are. Money, but still lots of it. There we go. Right then. We want this one. let's see what Wikipedia says, just because it's a generalisation, and we'll go there first. Universal credit is a social security benefit in the United Kingdom, introduced. So it's a social security benefit. Where from? The United Kingdom. That's a trust. That's not a landmass. Anybody that thinks they're residing in the United Kingdom, it's where your person lives. Your person lives in the United Kingdom, brothers and sisters. You do not. You're on the landmass known as, give me some help there, Anglo soil, sovereign Anglo-Saxon soil, the creator, Earth. You know, you stood on Earth, perhaps that would be a good one. You know, it's getting quite, you know, stripped back to basics. And it was introduced in 2013 to replace 6 means-tested benefits and tax credits: income-based job seekers allowance, housing benefit, working tax credit, child tax credit, income-based employment and support allowance, and income support. It was announced by Work and Pension Secretary Ian Duncan Smith at the Conservative Party annual conference in 2010, stated as designed to bring fairness and simplicity. This looks like where the BBC have got the bulk of their body of text here for their reports. OneNote. To bring fairness and simplicity to the British system of social security. It was one of several wide-ranging welfare reforms introduced by the 2010-2015 coalition government in the Welfare Reform Act of 2012. So who was the coalition? Cameron and Clegg, yeah? Conservatives and Liberal Dems. Remember that mashup? Wow. The new benefit was introduced gradually to all job centres, initially focusing on claimants whose circumstances are the least complex, single adults without housing costs. By February 2016, 364,000 people had made claims on universal credit, government research claiming these benefit claimants find work quicker, stay in work longer, and earn more than job seekers allowance claimants do. Universal credit has faced continuing criticism. Payments are made on a monthly basis with a waiting period of at least 6 weeks before an initial payment is made, which can particularly affect the claimants for housing benefits paid directly to them, leading to arrears, as tenants may have to borrow to meet other living costs during this period. Critics have noted other issues, including problems with IT systems and project management. Rollout of universal credit has been significantly delayed as implementation costs, initially forecast to be around 2 billion, were later raised to over 12 billion. Hold up. Rewind that track, my DJ selector. Initially forecast to be around 2 billion, it was later raised to over 12 billion. That's a 10 billion increase. As always, what do they do? They go in with the low bid, they get it in, then they go, actually, no, it's going to be low. You know, we've underdone this. How much we undercooked it by, John? Well, you're not going to like this. Go on then. We've got the 2 billion. It's all right. We've raised the 2 billion. We've got that. You're all right. You're sweet. We can get the bit extra. Go on. Well, how much is it? Well, turns out it's going to be 12 billion. What was that? 12. That's an extra 10 billion. Yeah, it's an extra 10 billion. Well, hello, the taxpayer's going to go ape. We haven't got that. We're in austerity. As its introduction, all existing claims to legacy benefits, the 6 benefits universal credit is due to replace, were expected to transfer gradually to the new credit by 2017. However, this timetable was later extended and under current plans is not due to be fully delivered until 2021. In 2015, government announced significant reductions to the value of universal credit, ultimately expected to save 5.5 billion. You see what's happened? Someone's under budgeted by 10 billion. Now we're seeing why we're having to make the cuts. This is what happens when you research and look at different things. This is where the BBC's got their reporting from as well. Well done, Beeb. You're not very articulate there, are you? So whoever does Wikipedia is feeding the Beeb. By reducing the work income allowance and removing the family element and first child premium and limiting the per child element to the first 2 children. So in 2015, the government announced significant reductions to the value of universal credit, ultimately expected to save 5.5 billion every annum. and that's by way of reducing the working income allowance. Wow, so that's hitting you right where the in the gingangool is, kicked right in the you know, crown jewels. And then removing the family element and first child premium, so that's a working family and child premium has been cut 5.5 billion. Nice one, thank you for that. We obviously agreed to that. We obviously writ down and said to all the, you know, governance and the ministers and everybody, yes, let's do that. Let's hit the working and let's hit the family and let's get the children, and limiting the child per child element to the first 2 children. So you got more than 2 now to come. In May 2016, the think tank, the Resolution Foundation, well, let's have a chat with them. Call yourself a think tank. We've got a master brain. The master brain versus the Resolution Foundation think tank. What have they published? They've published evidence arguing that the cuts to universal credit meant that the reforms risk failing to achieve their original purpose of incentivising work. In November 16, the government announced a reduction from 65% to 63% of post-taxed income. The taper rate that controls the reduction of universal credit as income increases, with an eventual cost of 600 million per year. Link. So I don't try and take claim, not that I ever would, for something that's put on Wikipedia. I use far more intellectual and in-depth reporting sites than that, but there you go. And Way Wise, hello sister, you're welcome. I'm very busy. It's crazy here in the makeshift office, but we're doing all right. We're doing all right. I'll get to you this week, over the weekend. Thank you for your offer. That was yeah, I'd leave that for you to disclose. I won't disclose anything, but that will come in very, very helpful, and we'll include you. Thank you. John, gas, just collect your farts, burn that, be cheaper. Yes, he's talking organic and natural, 0 point. You can have biological gas sources and hydrogen, doctor. I could put, if you've got any engineers here, listen, water, big tank, comes from outside, straight in, water from your main pipe into a big tank. That big tank feeds into a separate 5 litre tank. That 5 litre tank has got a special array with cathode, electrode, anode, things like that, you know, in there, and water with electrolyte. That then creates the electrolyte function, separates water gases, because water is fundamentally H2O on the periodic table. The periodic table of elements explains that H2O is 2 hydrogen atoms affixed to 1 oxygen atom. It's a gaseous, most lightest substance. When it's compressed, it will turn into water, or oxygen compressed will turn into liquid oxygen. Hydrogen compressed turns into liquid hydrogen. Hydrogen and oxygen, H2O compressed as a water molecule, turns into water. That water that's compressed, that's sat there like that, Brother John, electrolyte technology inside, water comes in from outside, from the creator, given to you by, here we go, into there, little things going off, forming gas now. You're forming gas, right. You've got your hydrogen and your oxygen, a bit like what? An oxyacetylene MIG welder, oxyacetylene welder with your control thingies here, oxy and acetylene. Well, oxy and hydrogen now, function it off into your existing what? Combi boiler, water, gas, separate channels of oxygen, hydrogen into the combi boiler, turn on your hot tap, what happens? System comes on. Solenoid relays, simple circuit like that, much like what is already there. Instead of going for the resource-based natural gas that we shouldn't be burning because of the not hydrocarbons, that's your engines, your CO2 carbon emissions and the footprint. Not that we are believing global warming or the, you know, the stuff they've purported about the weather. We know about the weather change and what's happening, but yeah, you would have a cleaner, more efficient burn. You wouldn't be using it from the ground. You wouldn't need all these pipes running. You could take all the pipes up, get them out, recycle that metal, have your own on-demand boiler system. You can weld from it. You can do all sorts from water. Water's a gas, it's a fuel, it's a life source, you know, in itself. The CEO Nestle, I forget his name, who said that water is not a human right. Well, here's your comments on that. Humans, yeah, well, it's a right to man though, isn't it? It's a right to the king, to the creator. It's not a right to humans, maybe in a public statutory way of looking at it, but when we look at the actual man itself and Nestle and what he said, tut tut. But water has got a great universal application of which they've kept from you in their suppressed secret technology. I've built hydrogendoctor.com. I'm not endorsing anything, I'm just telling you what I'm doing. I've built hydrogendoctor.com with that new technology. We've built splspro.com with new technology, and we are trying to lead the way forward for our unborn offspring property. That we're not going to be here forever. We can't be here to safeguard them. We can put stuff into trust. You can protect your property, you can ring fence it, you can fight guys with trust, you can collapse already existing trusts. And we're not going to read any more about universal credit because I could go on all day, as you know I could. Let's read this though that I've got next. Wealth and piety will decrease day by day until the world will be wholly depraved. Then property alone will confer rank. Rank is what? Military. Wealth will be the only source of devotion. Passion will be the sole bond of union between the sexes. Falsehood will be the only means of success of litigation. What? Falsehood will be the only means of success of litigation. What's happening now? Falsehood, deception, no indictable warrants, paperwork, legible signatures, no joinder, but it still goes off under the assumptions and presumptions, the Roman civil system. He will then re-establish righteousness. We'll say we, not he. It's about us. So we the self-governing sentient beings, I call us sovereign, you can call your label whatever you want, but man will then re-establish righteousness upon earth, and the minds of those who live at the end of the age of strife shall be awakened, and shall be pellucid as crystal. The men, or these men, who are thus changed by virtue of that peculiar time, that's one way of putting it, shall be, or be as seeds of human beings. So it's saying that the men who are thus changed by virtue of that peculiar time shall be as seeds of human beings. So we're all seeds here. Remember the torrent side, seeding, leeching, seeding. Well, we've got a lot of leeches out there leeching our technology, and they're not seeding anything. We need seeders again. Think digital. So there's indigo, age of Aquarius, digital technology. We're trying. So seeders, yeah. Seeds of human beings, or seeds of man. I would like to change that to be seeds of mankind, or seeds of origin of man, and shall give birth to a race who shall follow the laws of the golden age of purity, and shall be born, and men shall be born of a race who shall follow the laws of the golden age of purity. That's a really nice one, isn't it? Hey, just think about that. The Ladybird book of, please do a DuckDuckGo search and you'll see what I'm looking at, and put the Ladybird bird of thieving, and then BASTARDS. A Conservative and Unionist edition 2017. Somebody go and have a look at it. I can't put this post. I'll get it on thingy now for you. Please go and look at this. The things that we find and think of. Hilarious. Sorry, no results here. Wait there. Spelling mistakes, because it's come on, it's got to be here. Where have I got this book from? Where did I get that pic from? Oh, it's not on the domain of. Oh, interesting. Wait, I'll find it. Let's get out of that one. BASTAR, that's right, it was right when it said spell check. Spell it right and research. Come on, give it to me. No, it's not here, can't show it. Right, alright, well, we'll get that put out there. I'll use it as a thumbnail. For another video that I do. You're going to love that. You'll see it soon. Hilarious. What else have we got update wise, text wise to say? This next one, it's here. I know where it is. Consensus gentium, Latin for agreement of the people. Idea that the general agreement among people is a sufficient condition of truth. If everybody believes it, it must be true. The weakness of this criterion is obvious throughout human history. The consensus beliefs of humanity, e.g. geocentrism, have turned out to be false. We can prove it. This principle reverses the appropriate order for determining the veracity of belief. A belief is not true because it is believed. It should be believed because it is true. More simply, believing something doesn't make it true, even if it is being believed by the majority for all of time. We reference the Road Traffic Management Act for that. It is true, but look who it's true for. So that's that. Let me get back to the comments. Wrong screen. What we got now then? So we're wrapping up. You got feedback and comments for me. Bonjour, Nanla, Stephen Collins, Starseeds. Yes, Starseeds. I like that, brother. Starseeds. That's what we're planting. Get rid of the leeches. I love that. Shambhala. Tina, yeah, get in. Shambhala, that's the one. It's old Vedic, isn't it? The Vedic. So where's that come from? I need the history that's come, the video. You need to see this, guys. And also look at ancient knowledge. I've got some videos to put on for you now that I've been promoting, that some are from the channel Indie and some are in the playlist that you need to look at. Wow, if you haven't already, that one. Copy. Go away. In no particular order, keep these. I think I saved the text, so it should stay there. Where's number one? There's number one that I watched. This one's doing well. This is one of my videos, but it's had 650 views, and it's a very important subject. It concerns payment, monetary, stuff like that. Hang on, let me get to the video. This one is very important. This third hyperlink. This is from our channel. It's very important. I'm going to show you the whole video, but I want the guys that don't like watching long videos to watch this one that's 26 minutes long. Yeah, and then you're going to watch, for the ones that can take a mammoth edition, get ready for this. Download this. I'm not telling you to, but I'd say that you back this up. It's got no license to it. I know the guy. I've had a chat with Kill Illuminati, the channel where it was from. It's been shared over 3 years ago. The man hasn't been seen or spoken to. I haven't contacted him for over 40 months. He was on a channel, Kill Illuminati, which is this channel, which is this video is from. And look, you need to follow this link and look for this channel. I'd advise you to, and watch the stuff on this channel. This is amazing. If you can't see the videos because of the country that you're in and you've got restrictions on them, I have downloaded all of this guy's work and Chiron last. Right, now where's the thing about the Vedic that I watched? Like, let me go back from the top. That was a massive one. Let me just, but I've taken that text from Tina, the Shambhala. Let me get you that. Those ones though, that 7-hour something video, get on it now. Don't watch it all at once. It will pop your cranium. Your conscious will be raised octaves up. Once you've finished watching those and you've listened, including the video I've done, you will go up massively. You will, you know what I mean? You'll walk out, puff up your chest like man's wearing a bulletproof vest. I've got, so this was incredible. If you haven't seen this, Jack Straw, Mark Thomas Comedy Product, Dodgy Doctors YouTube channel. This is all found by us connecting and hanging out together and chatting. This is history right there. That is fantastic. Get that one copped as well. I'm finding the Vedic one. Kip's Clips, that's got to be mentioned. He's a legend. I'm speaking to guys that know him and friends of his channel. There's no ego here. Let's share that link because he's absolutely amazing. That's a good review. Go on there. Oh wow, I'm going to give you some top links here. Right, if you haven't seen any of Romilly Stewart, you should get on with that. Justinian Deception. Where's that Vedic video? This one that I've done is a good one to have a look at for the fourth industrial blockchain revolution. Listen to the music that I've used to do the introduction on this one here. The harm assessment risk tool that we've covered and brought out while you've got the World Cup, Brexit, Tommy Nobbinson and everybody else running around. The UK golden visas and first tier application, millions if not billions lost by the Treasury and Home Office when they've accepted golden ticket visa applications. You know, some nice link for you there that I've been promoting. I'm going to go on to Raconteur News at some point. I'm waiting for confirmation. Done some research on them. That's been put to us recently, so we're waiting on confirming and finalising dates and times for that. It could have been from that one. This is the Vedic one that I'm looking for the text of, Tina, that we've just you just spoke about there. I must appreciate I probably will go through 50 videos a day. Oh, this is just a chat. All right, then there's no. No. All right, wrong one. Carry on. Oh wow, wait, Dr. Sebi, watch this. This is amazing as well. This might save some lives. This video here, this man, big love to him. He's no longer with us. Dr. Sebi. There we go with that. This guy's, that's amazing. If you don't know about him, get to know him. Tell me what you think. This will save lives, definitely, and save skin conditions. Colloidal silver machine inventor, Bob Beck. Come on, there you go. I'll do the Shambhala. Have you got the video, Tina? All right. Send it me in a Hangout. I'll get it now. I'm working my way down. We will find it. I know which one. I know the thumbnail to find out. That one is amazing. Kymatica. So the governor will look after you. Get these links copied and saved. Even if you don't watch them now, watch them later. All right. Not telling you, just advising you. All right. Tellinger, Michael Tellinger, Tesla. Here we go. Gleason, flat Earth map. Wow, the Gleason map. That was interesting. Well, I've clearly lost it. Clearly lost this. I've watched more videos than I thought. Ah, one. Is this the one? This one is truly fantastic. It could be this one. If not, Tina will get it and we'll put it up in the comments later. I'm not looking through my history whilst we're live. It's not use of time. Right, this is the last one. This one is a flat Earth Vedic one. This blew my mind. Absolutely incredible. Colloidal copper, yes, we're doing that. Joints and ankles and stuff like that. Colloidal copper, we are indeed. I've got some bottles and some labels and some silver. I just need to filter it, get that on. How late am I? Not that late, Daryl. I'd say, to be fair, I don't know how long we've been on. Not that late. Time, by my alleged timepiece, not long. Glosser, Texas, Romney Stewart, superb research here, brilliant, yeah. The New Age bullshit psyop stems from Stanford, Tavistock, Chatham House and the Frankfurt School via military secret services, to name but a few that's now there that you know of. Then there's the new ones that have been invented that have superseded that, the you know, shadow type in effect. Right, so we've caught up with all the comments. So with the issue going back now to universal credit, let's do the loop around. You're getting denied, you're getting messed around, you're getting the run around, you not know who you are, you're getting things denied, you're falling into trouble, and you are getting in ill health, you are suffering harm, injury and loss as the in personam, as the man, as the woe man. So how would you get past that? Well, you would go for your rights. When you submit, sign and submit and sign, you have submitted, tapping out in wrestling. You submit and sign, so they don't take your rights away. They can't do that. What they get you to do is give your rights away in exchange for. So it's about management, not control, or control interface and management of whom you are and how you present and identify. Now, this is the hard part of which the courses are going to cover when we get the get it sorted out. in the forthcoming days. So the courses will teach you, and so will the videos. If you look at Indy's videos that I've done and uploaded so far, and the video links you've been given, everything you need to know has been laid down before you in file format, video format, vocal, written, document.gov.uk, legislation, act, remedy, success, and so forth and so on. So we will then go through and put it into stone, because what we're finding is that as others come that don't know, we have to repeat and we have to redirect. So the .com will provide a place for ultimately the download to happen from all of the ones that are involved in the construction of the .com, and that will then be put there and put into the trust, protected for all of time. So when man wants to find out who he is and he's forgotten who he is, and he keeps getting told no, and he doesn't know who his oppressor is, and he wants to have his day in court and face his accuser, when you find out who you are and what you can do, and you don't have to go in there by the public consent, and you don't necessarily have to go to court, because it's not a place of justice, it's a place of business. You can sort your business out in the private, as Andy, the admins, the family, and everybody would recommend or say that is the best way to proceed, is in the private. Instrumentation, notices, serving, doctrine. If there wasn't a doctrine, it wouldn't be possible for us to become indoctrinated. So if we have become indoctrinated, of which we all agree we have, what and when and whom has indoctrinated us into what? Because otherwise, if there isn't, then we haven't been, and we have been, and we've seen there is. So we have a doctrine, and that's the doctrine of. It's not the doctrine of church, it's not the doctrine of UCC, it's not the doctrine of maritime, it's not the doctrine of admiralty, it's not the doctrine of the canons. It's the doctrine of the brotherhood of man in a self-governing, righteous, honourable, vigilant capacity that is seeking a universal, we're talking of universal credits, we're after a universal, non-sectarian remedy for all. If you have a certificate of birth and a birth certificate and registration and all of that shebang, then we are the family for you, because I don't see anybody else purporting to give these remedies out in the full. Not that we're purporting to do that, we're purporting to get together and continue to build upon what we've already established, laid out. The foundations are good, we need to establish on that and build from it and strengthen. We're trying to do that in the best way we can, and manage, in effect, beneficiaries from the trust, our own lives, build websites, hold seminars, arrange gatherings, meetings, consultations, solstices, conferences, all of the above, make videos, chat, get the courses ready, and things have to, prioritise and take shape. We need governance, but we don't need governance from a society. We need governance from man, and man needs governance, resources, ability, confidence, cognizance, education. Everything. You've got to delete the operating system, take out Windows 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, whatever it was, XP, NT, the lot comes out. We put you a new operating system in. We put you in the sovereign, self-governing, universal, non-sectarian remedy that we propose, alongside with all the other brothers, Michael Obenesia, what Steve McRae's doing, everybody else, an amalgamation into there, stuff we've seen from past, including John Harris, reflecting on that, going back to then, where we are now, documentation, verbiage, language. Oxford Styles Manual plays an integral key part in the phonics and the etymology of this. The 60s, removing of the silver, the backing of the currency, the money, intrinsic value, debt, debtor, creditor, offsetting, endorsement, negotiable instrument, removal of gold, bankruptcy act, the full shebang's coming out, and we will put it in lineage form, in the form of the CQV, dead and lost at sea. Old pirates, yes they rob I. We leave this for our blood. That's what we're leaving now. We're setting the foundations, we're building something, well, like an oil rig that's come in from the sea, and we've just walked into the city centre and we're going, I'm staying here. Everyone's going, what's that oil rig doing now? He should be in the sea. Yeah, well, he's on the land. He's fixed himself on the land. He was at sea. Think about it. Oil rig, dead, lost at sea, CQV, key 21. It's happening. Never mind such other things as, there are filmmakers out there, and we could look to them for inspiration. I'd like the opening scene, as discussed with the technician G-Star at 2:30, 3 a.m. the other morning. The opening scene, train spotting, number one, Ewan McGregor, comes in at the beginning, and he let's screen share. Let's find it. This is what we want. Haha. Let's do it before we go, and then we're wrapping up. I'll go to the comments, and then yeah, we'll find. This is it. Imagine this. I think I could only find it with Spanish subtitles on before, but we'll go for it. 112 movie clip. Let's try that. Speakers. I don't know if you'll get the audio. You should do, but we're going to get feedback. Let me just check before. And now I should be back. Yes. So that is. Let me get the text now for the train spotting introduction, and we want lawful. I would like lawful words: legal, admiralty, maritime, sovereign. Choose self-governing, something like that. Yeah. Let's go. Choose life. Choose being alive. Yeah. Let's get it. Try and choose life. Quotes. Is this the one? Let's see. Someone give us a quote there. I'm gonna put this in for you then, and I'll obviously. Wow, there's loads. That'll do. Get it in here for you. There might be a limit on the text, but we'll try. No, too much. Wait. One at a time, David. One at a time. Probably still too many. I'll just put the page link in then, if not. Too many. Page link. Here you go. Get all the words from there. We need to do the same kind of tempo and flow, the same amount, and then we'd like to get the flow of that. Anybody that's a lyrical assassin, step in on enter ukfreedomproject@gmail.com. Get on a hangout, get on a chat. Any skilled musicians out there, we'd like to talk about this, get it put together actually at the solstice. When I go to York in August, I'd like to present this as a supplementary part of the work that we do, bringing the communities and guys together, the subjects, the topics, all such things as. So yes, that's brilliant. I think we've wrapped up now, done quite a lot of what we need to do. You're just a screensaver, mate. He's been called worse. No sound. Yeah, by me usually. I'm going to try and set a hangout up another time where I can share screen and do the sound. But yeah, it's work in progress, guys. It's work in progress. I'm trying my best. My mum said I was very trying. Dodgy doctors, I failed. Yeah, you'll have to show me what goes off with that bit again and just remind me, because that was wee hours in the morning when I got to that. There's something still playing somewhere though. Wait there. Got my audio going off. That's not playing. Nothing playing there. Rid of that. Fixed it. Alright, then what's the next job? What's the next job we need to cover? If you'd like to go, I'm going to do another video on how to log in. Anybody that's got issues or site issues, I'm going to, because I don't need audio, I'm going to show you how to log in on the site. I'll do a screen share and I'll speak over it. Anybody with login issues on the domain, I'm going to set that up now, because we're getting notifications that there's been some issues. I'll go back to the room and a wrap up to get your comments in, your final thoughts of the day, how you would envisage seeing yourselves, you know, in this system, and why you get denied your rights. You can't really be denied your rights. Is that it there? No, it isn't. When you use it in the correct capacity and you know of whom you are, so you know who you are, you know what your rights are, you can demand them. Once you demand them, they can't be denied to you. If you appeal and submit and beg and appeal and so forth, you're not doing it in the correct capacity. So this isn't condescending, this is reality. When you go somewhere and you say, please, can I, please, may I, what's please? Please is begging. Can I have, excuse me, may I? No. Excuse me, creditors here, we've got a request. What is it? Well, we'd like to, have this application looked at in the correct capacity as the, agent, authorised, executor in office, whichever it is at the time, authorised representative, an agent in office, no public liability, set law, things like that. You're a creditor. You've got a national insurance number. Your national insurance number is what? It's an international monetary fund issued instrumentation. It doesn't come from your government. It comes from seas afar. So why does it come from there? Why does it come from the international monetary financial institute? So, you know, it's there to use. It's not you. It's something for the club. Hello, have you got your club card? Yeah, I've got my club card. Have you got your date of birth? Yeah, I've got the date of birth. Have you got your surname? Yeah, I've got the family name. This is my person. Done. It's not that simple, but let's go. Comments, guys. I'll get you on the big screen again. Chicago. I'll get the hang of it. Let me just get used to it all. It's Jesus versus Lucifer, legal versus lawful. We're caught in a duality. See my profile picture on the pro.com. Exactly. Yes. Explain gumshoe. That is semantic. There is semantics. There must be someone, some entity. Yeah. Do you remember way back, David, regarding the Hangout software that you can use, Daryl? No, I don't, Daryl. Wow, too long ago. We're looking at it. Don't worry, and yeah, give me some comments, please. You can't take the legal system on with legal. You need the common law to kill it. Yeah, equity, though, because equity runs parallel with common law. And when you want to get out of the situation in common law, which might not be suitable within the public statutory mandated, you know, acts, codes, bills and everything else in a common law court, and you might want to mention something private instrumentation, private trust, and the common law court won't work. So it's not their fault behind you that you've got a private instrumentation and document in the gallery. It's not the claimant's fault that you've got to release something private in order to face your accuser and remedy your situation and discharge and so forth. So to do that, you need private surroundings. So your common law, as I've explained, is as I see it, like that. Explained previously, but you're right, legal won't fight legal. You can at law though, and at law level would be they are coming to you at law with a claim that you've gone there and been caught in an iron horse and the road traffic monitoring camera box is clipped you, captured you, and they've sent you a notice out under the doctrine and notices for you to deal with, and that's legal. That's public at law. So you'd use public at law to get around that. You know, that's how you want. You can go private and say you can set the capacity out of the driver and present the driver, and you remain private. Go as the private person if need be. Man with private as private person presenting driver, asking for such evidence and things of would be more than enough to satisfy that, and you'd use the process and process civil rules, things like that to demonstrate and ask for. I'm not going to release all that now, but yeah, you see, so we would argue that you can use the at law level for what they meet you at. They come with your private, you won't go public. You come with your public, you won't go private. They come with your public, you go public. Come with your private, you go private. Why can we not take the legal system to court to prove we are being scammed every day in every way? Most of what we speak about can be proven. Could this not get into a court? Yes, it would be a claim. So when man has an issue, man would make a claim, Craig, and we'd all make a claim together in a common, in a class action, and there'd be a lead claimant, and the lead claimant takes the figure, the centre position, and then the rest of you guys present yours and write it out, and that whatever happens with him happens for the rest of you. You're all in it together. So lead claimant, NHS, trustees, doctors, GPs, assessment, social workers, healthcare, trustees, trustees of health, education, all of that. You could do one from each: a claim from health, a claim from education, a claim from finance, a claim banking, fiscal, benefits, personal. Well, you've just opened a right can of worms there, lad. Well done. Yes. Right, you know, you need a lead claimant for all of them claims, and it needs to be dealt with in the correct capacity, with the correct capacity and the correct verbiage and the correct claims, getting it out of the United Kingdom court judiciary jurisdiction, my man, going straight to Europe, which is still bent as a 9-bob note, but then you go High Court, not Privy, High Court, equity, claim against man, personam, Hague, International Courts of Justice, international I'd have to think about that. Open for discussion, but it could be done. The Hague, war crimes, such things as that. And look at Iceland. It can't be done. What do you mean it can't be done? Go check out what Iceland have done in the last 15 years. Shh. No sound. Yeah, that's right. I know about that. I've muted. Yeah. Press eject. I've been shouting from the rooftop that everyone in this movement should come together. Solidarity is the only way to win. It is. Solidarity is the way to win. And you know what? There's going to be about 12 great guys there, a good audience, a secure, safe environment. Everybody, what have you done? What have you won with? Get that, put it to the side. What have you done? What have you lost with? But not to be funny, but there you go. Right, what did you do to win? Let's analyse that. What, when, who, why, where, paperwork, instrumentation, all that stuff, quickly, summarised, condensed down. Don't need every detail, and then we'll look at it, and then we'll make assessments, and we can ask with an educated mind and interpretation of that where we would see any, if at all, any issues, winnings, and then the failures. Perhaps they made errors, wrong status, wrong capacity, vexation, malice, omissions, errors, joined a contract, all of that. So yeah, well, it's good. It is good, Craig. Yeah. Detention. It's military, Jonesy. I see that. Thanks, Tina. Yeah, post it in the group. So yeah, that's a good little chat. That is. It cannot be hard to prove we are free. Why has no one tried in this manner? What do you mean it can't be hard to prove we're free? We are free. You are free right now. It's just that it isn't put upon you that you need to do something. It's when the crown or the invisible controlling mechanism of the crown's infrastructure and the Babylon, basically Babylon and the crown, come for you, how you divert and deflect that and defend it and discharge it and represent it and appear and attend. You are free right now. You're not, there's no warrant out. You're not waiting for anything. There's no open case. Yeah, you're on the land mass. So you are free. And you need to stick to it now. And when someone comes to try to detain you or to take you from being free, that's where we get the rebuttal. If you'd like instrumentation for that, again, from the top, ecclesiastical deed poll, look at affixing that to the private side of the birth certificate. The private side of the birth certificate. One is the public, one is the private. Evidence of life, you can do that yourself. Evidence of man, you get some photos. Stick them on some paper, good high quality card paper things, put a nice border around it. Evidence of life. In law, 2 witnesses make what? They make a fact. So 2 or 3 notarized witnesses. The SPO's trustees from the .com may take a part of this, or appointed principal types of trustees might take a note of that. Something to search for here. So yeah, we could look at doing that, my man, and we'll take that with open arms, and we can say that you are free. You're always free. It's your person that's not free, and the United Kingdom is not where you live. When you know you're a man on the landmass, on man on earth, man on earth. That's it. Your person lives in the United Kingdom. There are plenty of rulings to prove most things in law. Yeah, they're called maxims, and they're called, other than maxims, they're called assumptions and presumptions of law. They're called the civil procedure rules and the court practice rules and things like that. There are governing guidelines within this admiralty, maritime, commercial, common, equity, and so forth and so on. There are different publications and books and dictionaries and instrumentations and legislation and rulings for all of those laws of which were mentioned. That's where we've been and got our head around. So say a prayer for us, won't you? Say a prayer for us. I live in a space ball with a magic shield, and I live in this body. This body resides in time and space. That's right, John. I like you. That's, I have so much to learn. Holly Breeze. Yes, well, that's what the .com's for, the Facebook trust, and the 100 and whatever videos I've done so far in the last 30 months. The way wise, you need to email me, and I need to talk to G-Star, the technician. If you're looking for a website host and do you host them with your own, we can give you private on that. I was looking at HostGator. I went from GoDaddy UK to HostGator USA Incorporated. They weren't doing too bad. Technician guys trumped all of them. He's got capabilities, experience, knowledge, and we'll have a chat with him about that. You send me an email and I'll forward it on and CC you when he replies. Gumshoe, it's about disclosure, it's about knowing it. You've got to go into court and prove it. If you're going to go in and make a claim and start saying stuff and vexating and incurring and causing a judge harm and damage, be careful about that. You need to go in calmly, respectfully, honourably. Yeah, me saying that. Calmly, respectfully and honourably. Can do them too, but calmly, politely, enforceably, with your rights, inalienable, then take your instrumentation, know in your mind everything that can happen and all the little deviations, and have a little plan for all of them and set off doing it. But you try and do that in the private and hold them to account for whatever reason, correct the misconstrued relationship with the trusts, appoint the man who was previously trying to be beneficiary trustee, you go trustee beneficiary or whichever ones you'd like to look at, and then you know, they're all different, so it's not standard, and you'd reset it like that. Then after you've compelled him and he's disclaiming his duties and you know, so forth and so on, then you'd lay claim, and then if they lay claim on you, you could counter claim with that. There's a lot to it. It's more than that, but wow, yeah, you would have to make your claim valid, and you would have to prove. So if you think your birth certificate is not you, and you think that your birth certificate or your person's birth certificate and this language, and that, like what we do when we say something, we put down the reference, the citation, the source, the training, the speaker, the video, the win, the success, the remedy, the failure, you know, and that's what we do. So you've got to do the same when you go to a judiciary and you're going to make a claim, in any claim, no matter what, you've got to have the backup. Even if you're trying to invoke equity, you've got to have the backup, the insight, the knowledge, that never mind going on Lord Coke and Lord Dennings and such night versus night and what. Yeah, great, but what about it? UCC 1-308, yeah, great, but what about it? You know, so prove that, have it, take documentation, take but it's a dangerous game. Dangerous. You're playing with fire, man. You need to do it in the private, as the settlor, as the beneficiary, as the creator, as the creditor, as Craig creditor, sleuth. Oh, good lord, Craig as wet and debitor and stuff like that. Thumbprints, title. Know your titles. Go back to the beginning. Look at the title transferal and the property transferal, including the fiscal, you know, side of it with the money and how that transaction is done in commercial intercourse. Yes, brother, show me the man and woman called judge out of a corporation. Status is fiction. Yes, I'm talking about thousands of folk doing this, not on a whim, but as an organised case. So we've built a .com to get thousands, hundreds of thousands on there. Never mind Facebook and what they're on with and so forth. I know the internet's not totally secure, but we're thinking big. We're thinking long term. We're making a documentary for international exposure. There's millions, to be fair, millions. So bring them, promote, get on it. We'll make a forum. Craig, do you want a forum on the .com to manage this? That's how we do it. So, Craig, Gumshoe, you can have that. I see you change your name, sorry. I like the shortness. Gumshoe Sleuth, let's have a thingy on there where we have a forum and you can manage that. That's sorted on the .com. God Lord, you lively today, aren't you? You are lively. It's good to see. What else we got? We done? We all good? I think we might be. Let me work out how to go live with that. Then I'm going to do another quick video and we're done. So yeah, peace and love. Thank you very much. We say ciao, bello. Thank you and thank you. That's end transmission. Thank you very much, guys. We will see you later on, around and about. You know the score. Let me get out of here. Right, you're going to lose me now, all right. Fist bumps, peace and love, heart shapes. We'll be back later. Stay away from pirates, equity thieves.